chat with John Tortorella about
he's saying he can't go.
his ice time or he just said he can't go, and so he's now sitting right down.
Oh, man, what do you say about that? You don't want to see anybody get injured, obviously, but pick the fight with somebody smaller than him, plays 12 minutes, gets himself injured. I mean, I hope he's all right, but at the same time, like, he's a slime ball. Like, his other brother, isn't so bad, but he also picked the fight with a guy way smaller than him, and he narrowly won. It's just, not saying he's gotten his comeuppance or anything like that. It's hockey. These things are bound to happen. I'm sure that Brady will get his comeuppance later on in this game.
At all, but Brady Tkachuk gets one chance and then draws a crowd in front of Canada's bench.
Team Canada played Team USA tonight. The game started off like they were shot out of a cannon. 3 fights in 9 seconds. But how did the game end? Let's talk about it.
And Crosby just whacked it off with his left hand.
This was an anticipated game. You could feel it in the news. You could feel it on social media. It was promoted really well. This was a big deal, and it's coming off the heels of a report that the first Four Nations game was viewed by over 1 million people in America, which is big for hockey in America. Typically, Americans care a lot less about hockey than Canadians. So there's no doubt that this is good for the sport. It's good for my channel if you hit that subscribe button. I put out all sorts of content like this. I'd love to have you as part of the community. If you're already subscribed, just hit that like button. Helps me out with something. I don't know, something. So a few things were weird about tonight. First of all, Cale MAKAR wasn't in the lineup.
Look at us. Hey, look at us.
Look at us. Huh? Who would have thought?
Not me.
Since he was sick for practice and they, I guess, foresaw him not playing tonight, the league allowed Thomas Harley to come practice with the team. It's a good thing they let them do that because it would have looked less like it was a best-on-best game if they were playing down one defenseman. There's people that are seriously upset that they allowed them to do this. You don't want a fair game. It doesn't make any sense. So that means that Cale MAKAR is out for Canada. That means that Shea Theodore is out for Canada. If Canada loses any more players, optically, that's not cool. So things start out, of course, you start by booing the American national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the...
Trudeau was also in the audience, lending his voice to the boos, I guess. But when it came time for the Canadian national anthem, man, I wish I had the money to go watch this game or just see any game, travel to see any game. That would be great. But specifically to travel to see a game at the Montreal Bell Center. It's the hockey mecca, right? So the puck drops and this happens.
Did not see this coming.
And this happens. And then finally feel like things are going to settle down and we can actually play hockey, but this happens.
Second later, now in the center of the action, it's Colt Parayko and JT Miller.
So 6 players in the box. Is it Miller? I think Miller gets the additional instigator. Yeah, Miller gets the additional instigator because he's basically saying, come on, anybody want to drop him? But Parayko's like, really, for free? So that was a pretty dumb move by Miller, but I think he was just caught up in the, what's the word, fervor. So I actually give Miller a little bit of credit there. But with Brady and Matthew Tkachuk, you're finding dance partners that are smaller than you. I guess it's their image, their brand that they're trying to build on. They're both big players, good players, but dirty and dishonorable, I guess. Which is a weird image to want to build on. Have you ever met a Tkachuk fan? So it's hard to, start a game stronger than that. That was pretty incredible. Lots of action, lots of fights. The game continues and it's very physical. And actually, it isn't very long. Maybe, 5-6 minutes? Yeah, 5 or 6 minutes. The only nice goal of the game gets scored by who else but...
Blazing speed by McDavid. There are 2 players from the 2010 gold medal Canadian winning team.
So everything's clicking for the Canadiens. It seems like Connor Hellebuyck might be having one of those games where he's easy to solve. He's faced that criticism before. When it's a big game, he might let you down. Regular season, he's like almost as good as Carey Price. But you know what? That narrative doesn't really carry its way throughout the whole game. And it actually doesn't take very long to change because Jake Gensel is going to tie it up at 1.
Across the line, played it down low, they score!
Weak goal. Reinhart was sleeping a little bit on this one, but Bennington, I mean, this is one that you hope that Bennington stops. The game continues to be physical, and now it looks like Canada can't solve Hellebuyck. Even when McDavid is getting involved and getting his hands dirty. Takes down Adam Fox, gets into like a kill position, but tries to pass it over when he should have taken the shot.
Competition. Fox goes down in his own zone. Plenty of room for McDavid.
Come on, you're the best player in the world and you're not going to take that shot? This is in the second period, by the way, and something else happens in the second period.
Here's Crosby. Now it's Larkin with a burst of speed. He scores!
Dylan Larkin makes it 2-1 for the United States. This one's extra painful for the Canadians because Crosby turns this over, and that's how the play happens, right? But Bennington, once again, letting in a softie. We then go to the third period. We continue to see big hits. And to Bennington's credit, he does make some big saves. Hellebuyck continues making big saves. McDavid stops in the slot and takes a shot, but Hellebuyck's so patient and sees so well. Canadians then try to make something happen with an empty net nearing the end of the game, but Jake Gensel nets another one, and that's how it's going to end, 3-1 for the Yanks. A really good game, everything considered. I mean, this is why we have to have international best on best hockey. I'm sure the Canadians would like to try that one again. It's a shame that those weak goals were the deciding factor, but I think you were probably expecting a higher scoring game with the amount of skilled talent on the team, even a higher shot game. But credit to the defense because they really broke things down. And of course, Connor Hellebuyck, like I said, he's incredible. I think one of the big takeaways that might take the sting off for Canadians is that the Americans were supposed to have a much more physical game. And yeah, I think they did have a more physical game, but not so much that seemed like it was super one-sided. I think the Americans do have a grittier team, but it doesn't look like they're really that great physically. And you got a lot of the fake grinders like Tkachuk and Tkachuk. That's going to do it for me. Like the video, helps me out with search results or something. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. I'd love to have you. And as always, I'll see you down below in the comments.